Hello everyone, welcome back to Ruijie RCNA course. I am Niksha. Last course we talked about IP address. Today I want to introduce you TCP IP suite. This is the TCP IP model. First, in this model, it has 5 layers, from the application layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and the physical layer. Each layer has different functions. For example, application layer provides some protocols, for example, HTTP, FTP, DNS, Telnet, and so on. Then transport layer is about the TCP and UDP. It establishes end-to-end connections. Network layer provides the addressing and routing functions. Normally, we can see the IP address that is in this layer. And then data link layer, it provides physical media access. For example, the Ethernet protocol and MAC address are also in this layer. At last, physical layer. It's about the interface and cables. Normally, we talk about bits in this layer. And this model, we call it a TCP IP model. But in fact, there is also another popular model called the OSI model. It has 7 layers. In OSI model, it divides application layer into application, presentation, and session layer. Okay, so we need to know both of these two models. Here, this is a pair layer communication. It requires that same protocols at the same layer exchange packets. This means different layers can only communicate with the same layer. Okay? For example, between application layer, we call it date. Then transport layer, it called segments. In network layer, we call it packets. Data link layer, we call it frames. And the physical layer, we call it bits. Now, let us see a packet forwarding process. First, if we want to send information to other guys, the computer will help us encapsulate the date. So first, you can input some information, now we call it date, then the computer will send it to application layer first. It will add an application layer header. After it will be sent to transport layer and add a transport layer header. Then to network layer, add a network layer header. After it, add a data link layer, and at last, it will send to physical layer, and you will see a lot of values 1 and 0. That is, we call it bits, and because this is binary model, okay? So it will follow this process to encapsulate the date. Another PC receives the packet. It also needs to decapsulate the date, then display the information to you. So first, when it receives the physical layer date, it will send to data link layer and remove data link layer header. Then it will send to network layer and remove the data link layer header. Then remove network layer header, and then return to the application layer header and remove it. After that, the date will be displayed in this computer. This is a model of the TCP IP suite. We can see that in application layer, there are some protocols, for example, the FTP, DNS, SNMP, TFTP. I recommend you to remember the port numbers of these protocols. First, the port number, it ranges from 1 to 65535. From 1 to 1024, we call it well-known ports. After it are the dynamic ports. For example, FTP uses the 21 port number. Telnet uses 23, HTTP uses 80, and HTTPS uses 443. The transport layer, it has two protocols, TCP and UDP. TCP is oriented. Connection-oriented TCP normally is very reliable. We know the very popular technology, 3 handshake, are used in TCP. But UDP is connectionless-oriented. Normally, it works faster. Then in network layer, we can see the popular technology IP protocol. And in data link layer, we can see the Ethernet. Here is the IP packet. We know that IP is used to provide a host-to-host transmission service. In the IP packet, we can see first is the version. Here, the value should be 0100. It equals 4. And the header length, it calculates the IP header. Then type of service is about the quality of service. Then total length, it includes the header and the date. Identify is the value about the fragment packet. Then flex means whether it is fragmented. Fragmented offset means the location of the original packets. Then time to leave means the lifetime of the packet. Each packet pass through a router, the value will be cut down 1. And the range is from 0 to 255. Then protocol ID is about the protocol. After it, you can see the source IP address and the destination IP address. ICMP is a very popular network layer protocol. It is called the Internet Control Message Protocol. And the protocol ID is 1. Last course, we show you the ping function. Ping is a common ICMP-based tool. And it is used to detect the network connection. For example, if we use the ping function, for example, ping the IP address, in fact, the computer will send an ICMP echo request to the destination. Then, if the receiver receives it and no other policies, it will reply the ICMP echo reply. Then you can see it reply from this destination and then it succeeds. So it means the destination is reachable. When you use the ping function, I also want to introduce you some useful options. For example, if you ping one address with the T, so it will ping it continuously. Only if you use control with C, then it will stop. You can also ping with N. It will decide how many numbers of the packets. Then you can use ping with L. This will decide how about the size. Normally, it is used to detect the MTU. For the data link layer, we can know that the LAN we know the Ethernet protocol. Then normally we will see the MAC address. It is also in the data link layer. Here is the packet, the Ethernet 2 and the destination, source, and the type IP. Okay, some people normally ask, how do I know what is my computer's MAC address? Okay, I want to introduce you the command ipconfig all. Then you can see your computer's IP and MAC address. ipconfig/all. You will see the MAC address is here, and then the IP address, because I use the wires here, so the MAC address, it has different format. We call it hexadecimal. It has 12 hexadecimal characters. So here is the example. This is one MAC address 001A9, 09, H3, and 3D. For MAC address, the value it ranges from 0 to F. And of course, the broadcast MAC address should be follow F. Then, for different layer, we need to know some useful device. For example, in physical layer, we can see the hub, and the layer 2 switch works in data link layer. Layer 3 switch and router, they work in network layer. Firewall, the traditional firewall, normally work in transport layer. Okay, now let us have a summary. Today we talk about the TCP IP switch. I introduce you the TCP IP model. We need to know how many layers and what are the layers of the TCP IP. Then we talk about the IP package. You should be familiar with the IP package. Then about the MAC address, the format of the MAC address. And after that, I also introduce you the ping function. In this course, you should remember the ping with options, with T, with N, and will. What's the difference between them? And at last, I leave you to exercise. Please read it and give your answer. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.